Joined now by the head coach of the Mavericks, Mike Hastings. Mike, your thoughts on tonight's game?
I knew it was going to be a battle. Anytime you can find a way to sweep in our league, I think it's a very productive weekend. I liked our start. I thought they made a push. We didn't manage the second period as well as we wanted, but I think, Bowling Green had a lot to do with that. Their power play was obviously good. Our power play was good. And we just kind of found a way to get it done. I think it was important for us to get off the lead that we did, got the crowd into it. Wish we could have maintained that. But again, I've got to give Bowling Green credit for making the push in the second and then us finding a way to solidify a good third period and finish the game out. So it was a good weekend for us.
First question for Mike is from Daniel McElroy.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win today. I was pretty impressed with Andre Pavel's game today. Grabbed a goal and assist. Do you just want to talk about his progression since he's been here in Mankato?
Yeah, you know what? Pabs is a guy that has a great attention to detail. And that's just not on the hockey side, but just life in general. He put a lot of time in this summer at leaning up. He's a muscle bound guy. He's very heavy that way. And I mean, in a good way. But he wanted to become a little more agile, a little quicker on the sheet as far as his skating. So he paid attention to his diet and leaned up a little bit. And I think you're starting to see that come. His confidence is coming. I think that's his third goal of the year. And you know what? I think it's great to see a smile on his face because he's a pretty serious guy. And to see him be rewarded for some of the work that he's put in, I think it's very important. One, for his confidence, and two, just to see somebody take the enjoy what you do. Because when you work that hard, I think it's important that you take something from it positively. And he's starting to have that fed back a little bit, scoring some goals. And it was a big goal for us.
Kevin Dudley.
Hey, Mike. Lucas Sauter, first one in a while for him, I think since February 2020. I think you could see some weight lifted off his shoulders when that one went in the net. Maybe talk about Lucas and how happy you are for him to get that.
I appreciate you bringing his name up because, going back, and I'll use an example with somebody else that we've talked about lately, Cade Borchardt. It took Borch a while to get the first one, but once he did, I think he now has 5. And I think, and Borch was playing well previous to that. He just wasn't getting his candy. He wasn't getting any breaks. And same thing with Lucas. He's been putting a lot of effort in. He was dinged up a little bit here, injured not too long ago, and has worked hard about getting back into shape and having the weekend that he had, and see him get rewarded on the power play and getting an assist tonight, and finally getting some numbers to equate his effort. I think it's going to do a lot for his confidence. So happy for him, and you're right on. I think he's finally being rewarded for that work. Hopefully he'll continue with that confidence.
Daniel, do you have another question?
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the special teams. 4 of the 5 Bowling Green goals this weekend came on the power play. Do you want to talk about how you're going to clean that up a little bit for next weekend?
We better. Running those numbers aren't going to win you a lot of hockey games. And thank goodness I think we scored 5 on the weekend. So, you end up winning the special team battle, but not by much. I don't like burning the candle like that. But again, I want to give credit to Bowling Green. They're not going to go away. Nobody does. And so I like that when they made their push and they got it to 4-3, we had an opportunity to go on the power play, and our power play did what we needed it to do to secure the game. But we are going to have to clean up our penalty kill. And there's a lot of little things, I think, in tonight's game that we can take both positively and negatively that we can build from. And when you can do that, winning 2 games, that's a benefit.
Kevin, do you have another question?
Mike, your second power play. We talked a lot about your first unit last night and that top line, the guys that are on that, but your second unit got a couple tonight. Talk about maybe the impact that those 5 made.
Yeah, you know what? It's great for you to realize that, because we do have two units, and it's sometimes a third. And the impact that I think Sam Morton, Lucas Sauter, you know, Sandelin as of late, you look at those guys, and then I think, you know, Livingstone and Hiroshi have rotated on both power play units. And I just thought that when they had their opportunities tonight, they cashed in, and they were very important goals. That last one's really important because it keeps it from being a 1-goal game and them pulling their goaltender to us having an opportunity to have a 2-goal lead. And I thought they played with a lot of poise. Their execution was outstanding. Their retrievals, you know, puck went into a corner. We maintained possession, entries. And they were rewarded for it. And you need that to happen if you want a group to have confidence. And when you have two groups going, it's hard to defend.
Final question for Mike before we bring in Sam Morton.
I do have one more. Do you have any thoughts about the just the physicality, and especially towards the end of the game, the scrap that we saw? Any thoughts on that?
Well, just it's an emotional game. You know, when these young men put what they put into their daily, their weekly, and then on Fridays and Saturdays, you have an opportunity to compete. Sometimes emotions boil over. Now, you know, I still need to look at the tape a little bit. The explanation I got is that we started the melee at the end. I didn't see that. I need to look at it. But again, it's one team's trying to score, the other team's trying to defend. These are very, very important points. And like I said, when the young men put the effort that they do week in, week out, day in, day out in the weight room, on the rink, I understand. You ask them to compete, and sometimes that happens. And so we'll just have to take a look at it and see if we can maintain our discipline a little bit more.
Mike, thanks for joining us today. Congratulations on the sweep, and good luck against St. Thomas next week.
Thank you.
We're bringing Sam Morton here in a second. Now by junior winger Sam Morton. Congratulations on the win tonight, Sam. Your thoughts on tonight's win in the sweep over Bowling Green?
Thank you. We knew they were going to come a bit harder tonight after last night, so I think we were prepared for that and just wanted to stick to our game for 60 minutes.
Okay, joined by Kevin Dudley and Daniel McElroy. Anybody, you guys have questions for Sam? It looks like Kevin's got a question.
Hey Sam, you're back on a line here this weekend with a couple of guys in Furry and Sandal, and that you had a lot of success with, I think, late last spring at the NCAA tournament. Talk about maybe those two guys you like playing with.
Yeah, I know we all get excited when we see our names together on a line. We enjoy playing with each other. We're predictable for each other, kind of add to each other's games and complement each other.
Daniel, you have a question for Sam?
Yeah, Sam, do you want to talk a little bit about the physicality between the two teams and a little bit of bad blood we've seen over the couple of years?
Can you repeat the last part?
And just talk about the bad blood between the two teams.
Yeah, we always get excited when we see Bowling Green on the schedule. We know they're a physical team. We just try to play with pace and outskate them and play a smart, honest game.
Kevin, do you have a question for Sam?
Sam, the second power play unit you're a part of converted a couple times tonight. Obviously, you got one. Maybe talk about what worked well with that unit tonight.
Credit the rest of the guys on the unit. I thought we were moving the puck well. We struggled a little bit early in the game, but once we get set up, I think we settle down a little bit and try to find some lanes to the net and move the puck around till they're tired or till we get a chance to put it on net.
We have a final question for Sam. All right, we're good. Thanks very much, Sam. Congratulations on the sweep. Good luck against St. Thomas next weekend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.